Yeah, England know now that victory against the Republic of Ireland on Sunday, live on talkSPORT, will seal automatic promotion back to Nations League A after winning comfortably in Athens. Harry Kane was dropped to the bench in favour of Ollie Watkins, who got on the score sheet just 7 minutes into the game. An own goal plus a brilliant backheel finish on his debut from Curtis Jones sealed what turned out to be a great night's work then. Let's first of all start with Harry Kane on the bench, Ollie Watkins starting up front. You must have been happy to see that, and for Watkins to get that early goal and taking the chance that he was given.
I think first of all, we have to maybe not look into too much detail of Harry Kane acts. You know, like sometimes the wording, we know what Harry Kane can do when he's fit. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see Ollie Watkins get a start. Let's see what Ollie Watkins can do. Solanke, nice for him to start against Ireland. See what other players can do, like we saw with Curtis Jones, with Hull, with Morgan Rogers coming on as well. But I think he took his chance. You know, great movement for his goal, was a threat in behind. And, you know, Harry Kane, I'm sure, will be the striker that leads us into the World Cup, if he's fit, of course. But nice to see Lee Carsley think to himself, I've got 2 games left. You know what, I'm going to pick whatever team I want to pick. I'm not going to pick the standout players or the most experienced players. I'm going to pick players that I think deserve to have a chance to start. So he took his chance, and we know what Ollie Watkins to do. You know him better than me from Brentford, of course, but he's a finisher, movement, instinct in front of goal, and most strikers would have ran past the first post then. Stand still, buys his time and finishes. I
was going to say, I had to check his run, make sure he remained onside, but it was a great finish from him. Great work as well from Noni Madueke, who I thought had a terrific game as well down that right-hand side. But in terms of Watkins perhaps being preferred over Kane in that starting lineup, Lee Carsley spoke to talkSPORT afterwards and explained his decisions.
Nights like tonight, we need to see. We need to give all the players that experience. I know exactly what Harry can do, what he's capable of. But it's important that the other players get that opportunity. This is a phase where we can try things. Ollie Watkins is a top player, and he deserves his opportunity. And it's great that he scored a goal.
I mean, I like that. It's a phase to try things. And he's right, because you don't get friendlies now, really. So it's very difficult to try out anything. And you obviously go back to that Wembley defeat to Greece, where he obviously went with a very controversial 4-4-2, no out-and-out striker in that team as well. That didn't work. He learnt from that, but decided this is an opportunity for others to be given a chance. And I think that's what a manager should do, shouldn't they?
100%.
Especially in these kind of games.
Yeah, 100%. And even we look at Watkins playing instead of Kane, but the likes of Saka, Palmer, Foden being out, Grealish being out, it's give a chance for Madueke, who I thought was probably the best player on the pitch with Curtis Jones. Now you've got Thomas Tuchel probably thinking, all right, probably would have known him from Chelsea as well when he was there, if Madueke was there at the time. But you've got competition for Saka on that right-hand side, as well, for Madueke. You've got Curtis Jones, who took his first debut for England very well. But I just think I like the way he's done that. He's not thought, I've got to start Harry Kane, he's England's top goal scorer ever. You've got to keep playing him. No. Will he probably start against Ireland at Wembley? Probably will. But then you'd like to see Solanke get some game time, and it's refreshing that Lee Carsley's done that.
Yeah. It just kind of just shows that Lee Carsley got a bit about himself, that he's decided, no, I'm going to try out Watkins first of all. Probably obviously had that conversation with Kane where he said, look, I'll bring you on in the second half. You'll still get your chance.
I think Thomas Tuchel will do the same, because I really think that, going into a World Cup, you've seen Harry Kane's definitely injured in the Euros. You want to be able to look at it and say, okay then, yep, Watkins, straight in you go, because I know you can do it. I've seen you start for England, not always coming off the bench. Because in tournaments, you might have to start the likes of Watkins or a Solanke. You don't want them to be like, this is my first start. So I think it's positives, and sometimes we read too much into it. Oh my God, that's Harry Kane being dropped because of what he said about the other players.
His time's coming to an end.
Yes, because he said the other players didn't want to come. Oh my God, no, relax. He's probably had a good word with Harry Kane and said, listen, you'll start against Republic of Ireland. Yeah. I'm going to see other players.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, a lot of the build-up surrounded those 9 players that dropped out of the squad. After the game, Jordan Pickford spoke of the pride that you do feel playing for England.
I can't control what other lads do. People's got knocks, people might have been carrying knocks. I don't know. I come away with England every every camp. You know, my track record, I hate if I get a little niggle and I miss an England game, it hurts. I wear the shirt with pride and passion, like all the England fans know, and you know, a lot of lads do, but you know, niggles in football and a lot of games and a lot of that happens, but it's about the squad we've got, not what the other side of it. It's about what we've got now, how can we win these 2 games. We've done the first objective win tonight, then we've got to go and put another performance on against Ireland Sunday.
I tell you what, Jordan Pickford had a good game.
Oh, some of the saves he made.
Yeah.
One of the best games I've seen him. He was commanding as well in his box. He was trying to get on us on the counter-attack. He played a lovely ball to Bellingham, I think it was first half on the counter-attack. But that's what you want to see from him, because sometimes he can be frustrating when he's erratic. I remember speaking to Ashley Young about him, who still plays with him. He says, like, he's a sort of keeper that, like, makes a save and come and shouts at a defender. So, you know, just makes them... So I've had keepers like that. Brad Guzan was similar. He just makes them feel better shouting at a defender or midfielder. But when he's on that sort of form, top performance. But you look, everyone that played last night, even Rico Lewis was great coming inside. Carl Walker was strong. Conser and Gahey was strong. I thought Curtis Jones and Jude Bellingham, I thought that was a captain's performance from Bellingham. I thought he was everywhere. He was flying around. He was passionate. Too passionate when he got booked, because I think he said some... you could see on the TV what he says.
Yeah, we won't go into that. I mean, the referee was very quick to give out yellow cards, it felt, in that game yesterday. Yeah, just a little bit. But in terms of Thomas Tuchel, when he takes over, officially January the 1st, but obviously his first squad announcement will be in the March international break. Form permitting, injury permitting as well, or injury-free as such. Do those that played yesterday get the priority over the ones that dropped out, or is that unfair?
Yeah, I don't think it'll work like that. What I reckon he'll look at will be like not just yesterday's game. We'll look at Saturday's game, but games before. Even look back to the last tournament. Look at the form between now and March. Who's on fire? Who's scoring goals? Who's not playing as much? Because some of the players that played yesterday might not be guaranteed starters for their clubs. You've seen games where Curtis Jones isn't guaranteed to start with Liverpool's midfield options. Is Morgan Gibbs-White still playing at a high level? Because on the weekend he got brought off for Elliot Anderson, and he wasn't at his best on the weekend, Morgan Gibbs-White. So I think it's going to be down to form, and the sort of manager Thomas Tuchel is. I don't think he's going to be bothered to drop big names. If you're not at it between now and March, you won't be in that squad. I don't think he'll pick players because you've got experience and you know you're one of the older players. I think he's going to pick a squad on that date in March. Whoever's played the best football between now and then.
Which it should be based on.
Of course, yeah. You want players to be picked by form. And if there's players that started last night that are still at a high level, you'd hope they'd get picked as well.
Yeah. We just had a text in about Ollie Watkins. What a lad. Ollie's fab. Everyone stepped up to the job last night. What a game. Pickford, phenomenal. Great to see the manager letting young'uns play, it says. Yep. In our opinion, Kane is just an afterthought. I don't know about that so much, but the rest of it makes sense to me, certainly. Just quickly to remind you what happened elsewhere in the group, the Republic of Ireland even earned a 1-0 home win against Finland, a result that relegates Finland. It means they're now guaranteed to come third, which lands them in a promotion-relegation playoff. Do you know that's new to the Nations League?
I don't understand this Nations League, but I'm happy for Ireland because they're going through a bit of a rut.
Transition is
and new manager come in and lost the first game. I think it was Finland, was it? They lost 2 when they played them away. It's nice to get 2 wins in a row for Republic of Ireland. You always want them to do well, don't you? And you'd love to see them at the World Cup. Might be a tough ask, but you'd love to see Ireland at the World Cup, the support they've got.
Caoimhin Kelleher has come away with a lot of credit in last night's game because he saved the penalty, second half penalty.
Top keeper.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson, by the way, got the goal just before half-time. His first goal in international football for 11 months. Wow. He's had a bit of a tricky spell, as Evan Ferguson.
But he just needs to keep fit, and he's got competition as well as Brighton. You know, you see João Pedro come back into the team against Manchester City. You got Rutter, Welbeck's captain.
I was going to say, you're not going to oust Danny Welbeck
He's
right now.
He's captain as well, doing his thing. So you might have to bide his time to get playing time at Brighton. But great header as well last night. That leap to score that goal. And
it was a huge leap.
Yeah, and they've always needed that talisman. You know, look at Robbie Keane. He was the main man for years, banging in the goals. Ferguson can be their new Robbie Keane.
You never know. That's what they've been looking for,
Yes,
like you say.
definitely.
Trish, thank you very much for your text. Morning. I enjoyed the England game without the so-called superstars.
Ooh.
Trish, what we started there.
Too early.
Let us know what you made of it. Do you agree with Trish? Did you enjoy it? Because we weren't talking about those big name players that we often mention, and were you just refreshed to see the lineup that Lee Carsley went for? Injury, of course, playing a big part in that too. But you'll be able to hear if England can secure top spot and promotion in the group if they beat Republic of Ireland on Sunday afternoon. It is live on talkSPORT. Coverage from Wembley begins at 4. Kickoff is at 5.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.